Hello and welcome to day 17 of Jimbo's Advent Calendar. Now before we move on with today's Christmas item, I've got a very, very special shout out. Now a lot of my friends, my close friends, won't watch these videos. They've not watched one episode yet, and you know, obviously there's a lot of people in the local area who probably don't even know these videos exist. In fact, most people probably don't, to be fair. But someone got in touch with me from Canada. Val in Canada, Toronto, Canada, has been watching every single episode. Now, how amazing that is that you know, people sort of locally haven't watched it, don't know it exists, and yet Val in Canada, Toronto, Canada, has watched every single episode. So a big shout out to you, Val. I'm sorry, I'm not going to attempt to say your second name, just because I don't want to disrespect you or anything. But hello to Val, all of your friends in Toronto, Canada. Big shout out to you, and I love you, state Canadians. Right then, moving on. Today's Christmas item is the Three Wise Men, or the Three Kings as they're also known. The Three Wise Men, according to James Blunt, they had a semi by the sea. Now, I'm not sure what this refers to. Obviously, James Blunt's song, The Three Wise Men Had a Semi by the Sea, them lyrics. Not sure if it refers to a semi-detached house that maybe the three wise men, being students and all that, being wise and everything, maybe rented out and shared together, having parties, playing FIFA, that type of thing. But the semi by the sea could also relate to a hot day at the seaside, when there was lots of ladies in bikinis, hence the three wise men with a semi by the sea. Not too sure, to be fair. But yeah, the three wise men, Balthazar, Melchior and Casper, the friendly ghost. A little bit like Bruce Forsyth, who, let's face it, he was obviously old in the 80s, and now we're obviously 2010, so, you know, old. Anyway, yeah, so they were the three wise men, and they actually worked in Burger King. Obviously, the three kings. Why would kings and wise men be working in Burger King? Well, being students, they obviously had to pay their way, you know, and with student fees rising, they thought, better get a job in Burger King. It's the only place that might accept us having King's as name and everything. But yeah, being kings, they were really sort of clever, and being you know, anyone would believe anything they said. So what they said one day to get out of work early is they spotted a star and they said, "Excuse me, boss, see that star just up there? Well, underneath it, the baby Jesus, the new Messiah, has been born. So we want to kick off and get out a little bit early, if that's all right, and follow that star." So the boss were like, "Yeah, fine, yeah, you're wise men, you go ahead." So these three kings were loving it that they got away with it, and they went to follow the star. One went in a taxi, one went in a car, and one went on a scooter to follow the star. And it turned out there was really a baby Jesus, a Messiah, underneath the star, so they were wise after all. But not many people know that there was actually a fourth wise man. Now, this fourth wise man was tipped to replace Alan Sugar on The Apprentice, but unfortunately he didn't. Now, I've arranged an interview with this fourth wise man. Now, obviously we know that the other wise men, one travelled in a taxi, one in a car, one in a scooter. The fourth travelled around in a tram. That was his preferred method of transportation. So I've organised an interview with him, which is why I'm dressed really smartly, because I'm meeting a king, obviously, and obviously some glasses as well. Yeah, so, you know, I'm dressed really smart to meet him very shortly. In fact, he should be here now. I think he's running a bit late. No sign of him yet, but I'm sure he'll be here soon. But yeah, going back to the three wise men then, on the way to Bethlehem, one of them, in a taxi actually, one of the king's wives was getting poked by students apparently as they were going to Bethlehem, naughty students. But when they got there, they saw the baby Jesus and they had some gifts for him, because they thought they'd better take him some gifts. Now the first gift was gold, so they give him the gold, baby Jesus, and baby Jesus very, you know, sort of selfishly traded it in and sent it to cash for gold. And then Jesus, you know, realised he was onto something here, getting money for all this gold, so he tried to ask for more, but being a baby, his speech wasn't great, and it came out as myrrh. So one of the kings happened to have some myrrh on him, so gave him myrrh, and baby Jesus was a bit annoyed that he meant to say more but got myrrh, and this got Frank, who was also in the stable, got Frank incensed. So yeah, that's obviously the story of the three kings. Now, a few people have been complaining recently that these shows are not as dramatic as they should be. We should be a bit more dramatic, a bit more action-packed, and it shows because when Coronation Street was on last week with the famous, you know, tram disaster and everything, our ratings actually went down, the view count went down, so hopefully over the next few shows we're going to try and make them a little bit more dramatic. I'm sure I can hear a noise, but yeah, we're going to try and make them a little bit more dramatic. What's that? That fourth wise man's here. Is he gonna stop?